Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is get a piece of newspaper here. And then you are going to get a bag of clay. And in this bag of clay, you'll have some clay. So first thing is you're going to split this in half because we're making a cupcake. And we're going to need half of the clay for the top and half of the clay for the bottom. So we're going to do our bottom first. So you're just going to want to squish this around, kind of warm it up in your hand so it's a little easier to work with. And you're going to turn it into kind of like an oval or a circle, like that. Okay. Now this clay is a little dry. You can see how it has those cracks there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a spray bottle here and just do one spray. And that'll be enough to just really get the cracks out of the whole thing. So we're not doing a whole lot of water, just like one spray. Okay, that looks good. One spray at a time, and then you might see that it's a lot softer now, not easier to move. So anyway, you're going to turn this into like a circle or a sphere, a ball, and we're going to do something called a pinch pot method. Okay, so this is the bottom of our cupcake, so we're just going to push this in with our thumb. See how we're pinching it with both of our hands? This is still breaking really easily, so I'm just going to add another couple sprays of water there. Kind of spread that out. We don't want just a big pool of water. Okay. So we're making a pinch pot here, and we're just kind of pinching the sides until it all looks really, really nice. And we kind of want the sides to be even here. We're going to let you guys, when you take this home, you might want to put something inside of it. So you want to make sure it's like a little bowl shape so you can put a little treasure inside your cupcake. And see how I'm just going through and I'm just smoothing it out little by little with my thumb here. The best tool you can use for clay is your hands. So I'm just going to keep on working on that. I want the bottom to be flat, like the cupcake bottom is flat, so I'm just going to kind of press on the table there. Pull this up a little bit so it's a nice bowl. And I'm going to work with this until it's really nice. Now, you don't want to overwork it because it'll get really dry, you know, in which case you can spray a little bit, but it's easier if you just work with it. Not a super long time. I do want my top here to be kind of flat. So I might turn it upside down and work on it for a little bit. Because I want that to be flat so the top of my cupcake fits nicely. So I'm just kind of smoothing all this out. I want it to be as even as possible. Doesn't have to look perfect, of course. You just want to do your best and have fun as always. Okay. This up a little bit. Sometimes it helps to kind of cup it in your hand here because that kind of gives you the main shape and then you can push against your hands. Like that. You want all the sides to be even. That's possible. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to be as even as possible. Like you don't want this side to be really thick walls and then this side to be thinner walls. You really don't want any thin walls at all because they will break off in the kiln. So you want them to all be about this thick. No thicker. No thinner. About that thick right there. Okay. getting a little dry on me, so I'm going to give it a spray or two. Kind of get that all over here. Okay. It's starting to look like a nice, pretty bowl here. Okay. That's good. So now there's actually these details on cupcake bottoms where they have the liner. There's lines from the liner. So we're going to represent those in our clay cupcake as well. And we're going to use some clay tools to give us that lined effect here. Okay, so clay tools. Over here. And I think the one that's going to work really well for this looks like this, but there's some others that might work well as well. And you're just going to go to your sides. Make sure the side's all smooth before you do this. As smooth as, you can. That's good. That's good enough. Okay. It's like I have a nice blank canvas now, right? For my lines. Okay. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to draw my line going down. So it has the lines just like in the cupcakes in real life. The cupcakes from the store or the cupcakes you might make at home. Like that. Okay. Now, anytime that you're working with clay and it's time to clean up, but you're not quite done, what you can do is you just give your clay a good spritz, good spray of water, put it back in the Ziploc bag it came in, with your name and class on the bag, of course. And then zip up the bag, put it in the green box, turn it in just like you would turn anything else in. Alright, there we go. So, now we're done with this part, and we are going to do the top part. So, we are going to make the icing part of the cupcake. Alright, so here's this piece of clay. I'm probably not going to need all of this, to be honest. And it's a little dry. See how it's like kind of cracking a little bit there when I push it? So just a little spritz. Squish it all around, get that water in there. Yeah, maybe another spritz. Still kind of has some dry spots. Okay. Okay, now we're going to make a coil. So when you make a coil, that's kind of like what a snake is. It's like a coil. You're just going to kind of squish it together into this kind of like shape here. And then you can start the snake by using your hands, like that. But then you're going to want to finish the snake by using the newspaper on the table. So you're just kind of rolling it out. Start in the middle, move your hands out. If it gets a little flat, what you can do is just like gently twist it like that. And then keep on going. Move it out of the way. Might open up my newspaper. It's a little bigger for this step. There we go. Stuff back on there. Got a lot of stuff on my table. I'm going to twist it because see how it's getting a little over there. Okay. Okay. That's a really good, it's kind of like the width of your finger, you know? You don't want it to be really thick or really thin. You want it to be kind of like that. Now we're going to go ahead and start. Now we're going to start with the top of the cupcake. So this is going to be the tippy top of the cupcake. You just kind of pinch it. And we're just going to move it further down. So it's going to kind of cover up the top half. See, I'm covering up the top half as I go around. So this is our frosting. Like that. So you can still see the top layer. It's not completely covering up, but, you know, it's on there enough so that it sticks. And we're going to keep doing this until it's going to fill up this whole thing. So I still got more to go, right? And it's going to get taller and taller as we do this. Okay. Almost. And it's going to look much prettier when, you know, we have all the pretty colors on it. Alright, that's good. This is a little extra, so I'm just going to kind of push that off. So that's called a coil. We just used a coil method to make that. And we're going to spread the inside of this so it doesn't all fall apart. I used to call this spreading the peanut butter, so some of you might remember this as spreading the peanut butter of our coil. And we want to gently cup it in our hand when we do that. We don't want to push down too hard because we don't want to mess up our coils. We want to be really gentle. If you find that you're pushing really hard, maybe a spritz of water will help. Again, I don't want like super wet tables or anything like that, but you know, you do what you gotta do. If it's too wet, it's kind of hard to squish it together. So it kind of has to be like perfect amount of wet and dry. I might even just use my clay tool a little bit for this, because I got mine a little too wet. So my fingers just kind of sliding around. So I used a tool. That helps a little bit. Okay. So that's definitely good enough. That's perfect. Alright, and then you have the top and the bottom of your cupcake there. And you can, of course, add like little sprinkles or whatever. They might stick on in the kiln. They might stay on if your clay is just like a little moist. You're technically supposed to score slip and smooth, but these little sprinkles I find stay on without any of all that special assembly stuff. Some kids have asked me if they can put like a cherry on their cupcake. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't understand why your cupcake would have a cherry on it. I've never seen a cupcake with a cherry on it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna add the sprinkles on here. I might add some sprinkles after it's done in the kiln with like something else. Maybe like some little beads or something I could glue on. Alright, now once you're all done and you're ready for it to be dried out, you're not going to put it back, well, you're going to put it back in the bag, but you're going to leave the bag open so it can dry out, because I can't put it in the kiln unless it's all dry. And you're going to put your name and your class. Or just put your number, the number of your seat. And then your class, which is what grade you're in. Pretending I'm in 5th grade. And then your teacher's first letter, last name, first letter of their last name. Pretending I'm in Miss Berger's class. And I'm pretending I sit at seat number 1. And then this goes back in your bag, ready to dry out. Don't zip it closed this time. And that's it.